Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the LOOK Keo Blade Ceramic Vision Clipless Cycling Pedals. LOOK has been experimenting with the integrated lights into their pedal system since the commuting Geo pedal lineup. That's why it's not a surprise they've added technology to their top-of-the-line LOOK Keo pedal ceramic pedals that we have here today. And this is the latest Vision version. This takes the latest Blade pedal design and adds a removable rear LED to each pedal for additional visibility both during the day and the nighttime. Packaging wise, really simple. They really eliminated all the plastic and created this nice open window with cardboard so you can actually see the pedal right inside. You have the French colors here. Some basic specs here and indicators that this is the road version and additional details here on the back for this specific version of the pedals. These are made in France as well. So I'll go ahead and open this box and we'll go over the specs. So retail price is $325. This is the most expensive non-power version of their pedals. They're really designed for top performance. It has a 60 lumen light system, so each of the lights is 60 lumens, so quite bright. And with this one you have the ceramic bearings, so really smooth, long-lasting, and designed to optimize your performance on the road. They have a USB Type-C charging interface, so you can easily charge the pedals. And you get runtimes from 5 to 10.5 hours, depending on which mode you're on. They also have USB Type-C and as well as the auto sleep feature. So if you're not moving and you forget to turn them off, they'll actually turn off automatically. So a really nice feature that preserves the battery. And they also claim 1 kilometer visibility with these lights as they utilize Biomotion. So they'll move around with the pedal. And that gives you about 5.5 times more effectiveness than a static light. As far as what comes with them, you can see you have both pedals. They're just zip tied on here. And then you also have the cleats. So standard LOOK Keo cleats with all the hardware, so the washers and the bolts. A little instruction manual. And then a kind of absurdly long USB Type-C to C cable, as well as this little standard USB cable. So you can actually charge both at the same time, which is an interesting feature. So there is no charging dock like some of the Arc-like pedals. So if I undo this clip, you can see this is a dual outlet cable that has a standard USB on one side and then double USB-C on the outside. So pretty cool feature. It lets you charge again both at the same time. As far as the tension on these pedals, you do need to purchase them separately. So if you want to swap out to either a lighter or stiffer one, they sell those separately for about $55. So the blades themselves, just like the standard Blade pedal. Now let's take a look at the weight of the pedal. So the pedal by itself with the light detached comes in at 115 grams, so quite light. And then the light itself, and these are actually swappable, so they're not actually side specific, it's all symmetric. That's only 18 grams. Visually, the LOOK Keo Blade Vision pedals have almost identical form factor as the standard Blade pedals. You have that same wide platform that LOOK Keo is known for, strong retention system that's perfect for racing or sprinting, and the carbon blade design. That's one of the most unique features of the blade. Instead of a spring on the rear, it actually uses a rectangular piece of carbon fiber, and you can swap these out. So the tension on this is set to actually the construction of the blade, so you can't swap it, you can't adjust it on the fly. You can see here it's 12. They have higher versions and lower versions, so if you want lower or stiffer pedals, you actually have to swap them out for about $55 each. That's one big downside of the blade. It's a non-adjustable design, but if you know your tension, you typically don't change it. So it's a really nice pedal. It's sleeker, more aerodynamic, and you can see just less parts overall. It has a full carbon composite body, so super lightweight. And with a blade design, you can see it's fully filled in, so you don't have the holes like you do with the traditional pedals. And then this is obviously the top model, so you have ceramic bearings and really smooth operation that should last a long time with minimal maintenance. The big difference between this and the standard pedals is this rear clip, and you can actually see how it has a little cutout here and a slightly thicker design. You can actually purchase an upgrade kit for $79 if you have a 4th gen blade or blade pedal, power pedal. You can just swap out this rear piece, so it comes with a rear piece and the light itself. But you can't swap this out to any pedal. It has to be 4th generation or the power version. But that's really the only difference here. It adds a little bit of thickness compared to the standard version, which is nice and smooth, but it's pretty minimal. When you don't have the light on, You can see it just looks like a standard pedal. You just have these additional clips here. And when you have the light on, you can see it just slots in to this bottom hook. Then you angle it back and it slides into that clip. To remove it, it's not really obvious, but you hold the left side of this clip down and then you angle it out. So it's a little bit easier to, from side angle, you push down here and sort of rotate it downward and then pull up. So a very simple design, and again, these lights are actually swappable, so there is no left and right side. The light itself is a very simple design. It's a cob LED, single power button in the middle with this wraparound red lens, so you can see when it's on, it's very obvious, and you have this grid of LEDs on the inside. You don't have any focused LEDs, but you have different flash modes, so a couple modes, 2 constant modes, 2 flash modes, and a 60 lumen daytime flash mode, which is pretty good. Runtime's also pretty long, so up to 10.5 hours in the daytime flash, or 5 hours in the high steady mode. You have to control the pedals separately, and that's one big downside. There's no ANT Plus or Bluetooth, so they each operate separately. And that means it can kind of be hard to get the flash exactly the same. So unless you really time it, they might be a little bit out of sync. And it's a little bit annoying to automatically turn them on and off, to manually turn them on and off versus automatic, like a lot of new integrated lights do with your head unit. Look has also integrated a motion sensor in these, so you can see if I just leave that here with no motion, about 30 seconds later, it should automatically go into standby mode. And also if you double tap the button, you can see there's an LED on the side, so that is your battery status. If it's above 30%, it's green. If it's 30%, it's red flashing. And if it's under 15, it's solid red. So not super obvious, but it's better to have than no indicator at all. Holding the power button turns it off, and you have mode memory, so it always remembers. But very simple design, and the nice thing about this is that it's curved, so it fits really nice and flush against the pedal. It gives you side visibility. Here you can see this one's turned off, but as soon as I touch it again, it goes out of standby mode. And if you completely forget, and you just walk away from your bike, after 30 minutes, it'll automatically shut off to preserve the battery. But overall, it's a really simple add-on, and I expect Look to probably add this feature to their future pedals so you can simply swap these in and out rather than having the limited compatibility that they currently do. The Vision pedals have 4 different output modes, 2 constant modes, a low and a high, which are 2 and 3 lumens, and 10 and 5 hour runtime. You can see it's a little bit brighter. Then you have Eco Flash, which has a nice 10 lumen flash and gives you the maximum 39 hour runtime. Then you have the really bright 60 lumen daytime flash, which also has 10.5 hour runtime. So pretty good for long rides. As you can see here, the only annoying part about these pedals, you have to manually turn them on and off, which can be really inconvenient, especially given the placement of the power button if you have to lean down. Once you have them on, you can see it's a really nice complement to your traditional taillight. Ensures they're visible. On the road here, you have nice visibility from longer distances, and because you power them on at a little bit different time, you can see the daytime flash pattern here is a little bit out of sync, which sort of helps you because it gives you a little bit more visibility. So you can see a really nice complement. The blade pedals are obviously really nice pedals, being the top of the line pedals. Nice, stable. You can adjust the tension, but once you find the one that works for you, they're very comfortable and great for sprinting, and they last quite a long time. As you can see here, the Vision pedal attachment also just adds a little bit more visibility, so it takes a great pedal and adds a little bit of light visibility that takes advantage of the Biomotion. And you can see as you pedal, it moves the light around, so it really helps with visibility as you're naturally attracted to movement. So it's a really nice, simple way to improve your visibility. And the lights themselves are nice and small, so they don't really add that much weight, and they don't take up that much space on the pedal, so it's easy to use them with or without that feature. As you can see here, we have both versions of the LOOK Keo Vision pedals. They're currently offered only 2 variations, the Blade and the 2 Max. So as you can see here, the big difference here is the retention system. This one has the carbon blade. So very sleek design, no spring on the rear, while this one has a more traditional spring for the retention design. The blade is much more expensive, and this one is the ceramic version, so you get a upgraded bearing here. But you can see they have the same cleat design and the same rear light, so they're interchangeable between them, the actual light itself, but the rear clips are a little bit different, but they use the same mechanism. You can see with the blade version, definitely a sleeker pedal. And with the Blade version, you don't get the adjustable tension, while the 2 Max does because you have a spring, so you have an adjustment there. Same light adds a little bit of length to it, and the nice thing about this design is when you remove it, it looks really similar. So again, you push down and then sort of rotate it. It can be a little hard, especially when they're newer. But you can see with it off, looks pretty sleek, and with it on, you get the additional visibility. But same lights between them. They're not interchangeable with the other Look models unless you have the Blade version 4 with the specific rear clip. If we compare the Blade with the standard Blade, so the Blade Vision versus the previous Blade, you can see the big difference really is that rear part. So you can see with the light off, they've added a little bit of thickness to that rear piece. So this rear clip is a little bit different shape with the cutout, while the old one was just smooth. So that's really the most obvious indicator. So you do know there's maybe something missing here because you have this little clip sticking out, but still pretty sleek overall. And you can see when these wear down, you can see the wear plate gets a little bit worn down, and they're harder to clean with a blade. You get dirt on the inside, which is really hard to get to and clean. With the Keo Max 2, I do have the classic pedals to compare them to. So with the classic, you can see, again, it's just that rear mechanism. So it's much more obvious here. It's a little bit thinner than that one, and you don't have that additional extension and little clip for the Vision light. So here you can see both pedals without the light on. It's very similar, but the difference here is you actually have an indicator with the standard pedals for the tension. Well, that's kind of done away with the Vision version, but otherwise almost identical shape, design. It's just the fact that you use a different clip that's not currently offered as an upgrade kit, so you do have to buy it separately. So a very simple upgrade, and it's definitely worth it if you're looking for new pedals. If you already have them, it's probably not worth the upgrade, but once you need new pedals, these are really nice and add more visibility during the day and the nighttime. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the LOOK Keo Blade Vision pedals. What we like about them is they're daytime bright. At 60 lumens, you can definitely see them during the day, and they're very bright, especially at night. They have really nice flashing patterns, so the combination now with Biomotion as your pedals rotate, ensure you're always visible. We also really like the Blade pedals. They have a nice wide, stable platform, so they're great for sprinting or climbing. As far as negatives, the Vision pedal attachment is not really backward compatible unless you have a 4th gen or newer Blade pedal, so we expect LOOK to add this to future pedals going forward. They also lack synchronization for power on and off. They won't connect to a GPS head unit or Bluetooth, so it'd be a really nice feature if they added in the future. Taking everything into account, would give the pedals a 9.2 out of 10. They're fast and bright pedals thanks to the Vision attachment. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.